Hello, and welcome to episode 39 of the Cooler Guild. I am Coop Cooper, and joining with me, as always, is my co-host, Van Crisp.
Hello.
We're recording on Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. On today's episode, we get to talk about the Reign's really awesome game in Utah.
Woo.
We also take a look at other results in the league and go over some other happenings that will be going on for WOSO during this, month and some days break from the league. But first, some housekeeping. The Cooler Guild is part of the Sounder at Heart podcast network. You can either listen to us on their public feed or, if you're a Sounder at Heart subscriber, on the private unified feed with the other podcasts on the network. If you'd like to become a subscriber, just visit our page at sounderatheart.com/the Cooler Guild. New subscribers get 10% off the normal rate, and you'll help support everything we're doing.
You back from vacation?
I am back. Very happy to be home. The Midwest is not for me.
You almost moved there.
Yeah. Well, did I? I mean, I guess maybe a little bit, but yeah, I don't know, man. I was happy to see some people that we, haven't seen in a long time. But yeah, but the last day we were there was like a heat wave.
Yeah.
Oh, it was miserable. Absolutely miserable. And I was like, this is what it's like many days in the summer. And I was like, I can't believe people live here. But anyways, we were at we had like a little get together before everyone left, like the night before. And the one thing I'm mostly concerned about is, have you played beer darts before?
No.
So the boys, for whatever reason, all these people are straight besides me and my wife, but the boys of these couples, one of them likes to play this game called beer darts every time we hang out, and there's an outdoor space. So it's basically like you sit in a circle with your chairs, and then you put a beer like between your legs at your feet, and then you throw like a dart at the can, and then you have to drink it if it hits the can until it doesn't pour out anymore.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're trying to puncture the can.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I'm probably not describing this great, but anyways, and obviously there can be injuries in this. It's like basically lawn darts, but maybe not as extreme, but it can be as extreme, especially when people start getting drunk.
So is it just like at your feet?
Yeah. and there's no like point to the game as far as I can tell. Like
there's no winner?
No, because once you finish your beer, you go get another beer, which I guess then you're kind of a loser. I don't know, but I mean, most of the people in this game were wearing sandals. One guy, and I don't think I've ever witnessed someone actually getting clipped and stabbed, but that night someone did get stabbed with the dart. He had clogs on, but it hit his ankle where the clog was exposed. And I'm really concerned that it's going to get infected because like the property that my friend lives on that we were hanging out at, there's like tons of geese shit everywhere.
And it's probably been like on the ground and
Yeah, and then I feel like the dart went pretty deep too, and so my wife's like, I don't know if he's gonna have a foot because I feel like that might be a bone infection at some point. Well, we'll see.
It's not like 50% of the people there weren't doctors.
But like if it goes that deep and there's goose shit all over it, I mean, how much can you do?
I don't know. That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, I never played this game, but yeah, that's my.
Are these people in their 30s?
Yeah,
I feel like this is something I would have done in my 20s.
No, they also have multiple kids. Like most of them do.
All right.
Yep. Anyways, how was your weekend?
Started off really well with this game.
Oh yeah, really great.
Really great. And then we played up in Seattle on Sunday and had our first loss. It was 1-0. Did it to ourselves.
Yeah. Couldn't get on the scoreboard, I saw.
Huh?
Couldn't get on the scoreboard, I saw.
Yeah, it was just one of those games. We had majority possession. We had majority chances. We were the better team.
Yeah.
But, the score is what the score is, and we play them again on Friday, so.
Okay. Well, hopefully things go better.
Yeah, I hope so. The league's weird, too, because you have different players available at different times, and it's always such a meandering roster.
Yeah.
We're still top of the division.
Does the rankings come out again?
I haven't seen them yet.
Okay. I was just curious how much that would drop and what everyone else is at with their records. Anyways, we got a really great game to get into.
Yeah, we do.
Do you want to do a match recap first?
Yeah, let's do it. On Saturday night, the Reign took on the Utah Royals down in Sandy, looking to close out their road stretch with a win. The Reign got off to a quick start when Ji So-yun scored in the 6th minute. 10 minutes later, Maddie Darlene chipped the goalkeeper, and a last-minute slide from the Utah defense couldn't keep it out of the net. The Reign's defense finally cracked in the 31st minute when Claudia Dickey made a fantastic save, but the rebound off the post fell to Utah's wildly unmarked Bianca St. George, who converted. In the 66th minute, G slotted Emery Adames into the box, and she tacked on the Reign's 3rd goal. Finally, in extra time, Coco was taken down in the box, and Emery Adames put the PK in the back of the net to secure herself a brace. Thanks to this victory, the Reign finished the match week in 6th place.
Not just the match week, but halfway through the season, 6th place. That's pretty great.
I hoped that we would be here.
Yeah, we were full of hope.
We always have been.
Well, I certainly wasn't last season. You were clinging on to hope.
I sure was.
Not me.
I was just...
It's all you had to live for. All right.
It really was.
Did you have any overall comments about the match?
It was great to see the team tack on goals. We've been asking for this every time they play a low ranked team.
Yes.
And so finally for them to be able to do that in a really decisive way.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't ticky-tacky goals. They were very much team goals and goals where they took the opportunities that they had and they converted. Yeah,
absolutely. I will say to that about scoring multiple goals, Utah has now conceded 5 consecutive games of conceding 3 goals or more. You got to start somewhere, though, with getting multiple goals, and they got 4. So this is what they should do against a bad team.
Yeah, exactly. You don't play down to their level because it was getting really physical, which I'll talk about in a bit. But for me, it just felt like we finally saw the team, even though up to 0, it comes back down to 1.
Yeah.
It felt like we were finally seeing the team take advantage of a worse team.
Yeah, definitely. Notable stats. Reign are now unbeaten in their last 5 away matches, earning 14 out of 21 possible points. I would like to be as good at home.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, it's great to play well on the road. You have to do that to be able to advance. But at the same time, we got to find a way to play well at home.
Reign have also not allowed a goal after the 75th minute this season.
Big change from last year.
Yeah.
Big change from last season, which is great. And we just got to stop giving up goals in general.
Goals. Dumb goals.
Dumb goals and kind of falling back into that just defensive mishaps. And I think that the team possibly was just so confident in the defense because of the performance in the first part of the season that maybe they took their foot off the gas a little bit. But giving up 1 goal is fine. You win the game. That's really all that matters.
That's right.
Unless it stays this close in the table and then your goal differential does matter.
Yeah, we need to pad it up a little bit because we're not remarkable on the goal differential, which the standings are tight.
They're very tight. We're 1 point out of 5th place.
Yeah, it's we're setting everything up for a really, really exciting second half of the season. And
I don't want it to be exciting for us though. I want us to decisively have a playoff spot and not wait till the last game or 2.
Yeah, I think that's doable. I don't see any reason why. I mean, they're gonna have a really nice long break. They're gonna get to kind of re-energize and regroup, get some much deserved time to themselves. At least some of them will be, because I know a lot of people are going away with some other stuff, but we'll talk about that later too. Other notable stat I wanted to point out was, well, I guess you kind of added the first Reign game that they have scored more than 2 goals this season. The part that I want to tack onto that though is Theo Lloyd Hughes had pulled up the stat that the Reign have scored 4 goals in an NWSL game for the first time since May 27th, 2023. Yeah, we're not known for goal scoring, but I mean, if we can do this, and the team they looked so in sync with each other that I feel like a lot of these goals that we scored are very repeatable. It's fun to watch too. I mean, it was just every player that you want in the attack was involved.
Yeah. And another fun stat, Emery Adames became the 2nd youngest player in NWSL to score a brace at 19 years, 79 days old, and only second to who else? Mal Swanson. That's crazy.
Yeah. What was I doing when I was 19? Not anything that cool.
Not scoring 2 goals in an NWSL match.
Before we get into the positives, I think I'm going to open up my celebratory beer.
I'm going to have in honor of Utah. I'm going to open my zero sugar Dr. Shasta.
Does it have caffeine in it?
Uh,
Let's be honest. Not all Mormons.
I don't know. It doesn't say on the can.
All right. Well,
Oh,
cheers.
yeah, it does have caffeine. It just
Okay,
doesn't say how
well.
much. Okay, cheers.
This game definitely deserved a celebratory beer.
Or a
And it's
Dr.
in-
Shasta.
Yeah. Positives. We don't have many listed, but I just feel like when you score 4 goals, it kind of speaks for itself to some extent.
And I think the positives are just so broad because there's so many things that you could pick out, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we can talk about how wonderful it was to watch the game,
Mm-hmm.
and that speaks for itself. You can talk about how defensively the team did what they had to do, minus a
Mhm.
hiccup. And we don't have Dickie on here, but she was great. Don't have Phoebe McLaren on here, but she was incredible.
And the captain,
And the captain. I thought Madison Curry had a good game.
despite the ref trying to make it not be the case.
Right. And, everybody from the midfield, forwards, defense, all did what they had to do
Mm-hmm.
and more. So it's hard to pick out certain things in a match like this when everything was pretty good.
But we'll go ahead and list them.
But we're going to talk about it anyway.
I just feel like the list could be a lot longer, is my point. First thing I had listed, Emery Adames brace. We already pointed it out, but you got to give her credit from not getting a starting spot and working her way back into that, and now getting a brace with going almost the full 90 because she got subbed out right at the end, right after that penalty. But yeah, really, really great to see her be able to do that. Also, her left foot.
Oh, it's so good. So there was a stat we talked about a couple weeks ago about Adames not being able to score before like the 80th minute.
Mm-hmm.
She scored in the 66th minute in this match.
Just a little bit better.
Getting closer. Getting closer. Just wanted to put that out there.
The other one, however,
She almost scored earlier. She almost had an Olympico.
she did. Yeah, she's incredible.
I love this. Another positive, and we ended up actually being in agreement on this, but Olympia Dolo, though she did not necessarily get on the score sheet, she was either the pass to the person that assisted, or in the second goal, she realized what position she was in and almost kind of dummied the ball, like kind of moved her body out of the way
Yeah.
so that it could go to the next person. And it's just so important. And I noted towards the beginning of the match how much better we were looking, and it was notably different and better because she was on the ball more. We were getting her the ball. She was being involved.
I mean, the defense was just like, she was causing so much chaos back there, like absolute chaos. So like she would draw the defenders, and then that is what allowed everybody else to score.
Mm-hmm.
Without her, I don't think most of this happens.
I agree.
Incredible. I love it. I love that she's kind of hitting this stride. I like ending on this kind of note too, going into this break. Because now we can kind of just like look back at all this and see exactly how to maybe try to do it again.
Yeah.
And unlock it with consistency.
That would be really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, scoring 4 goals in a game where you've struggled to score for the entire season really makes you realize, okay, like we can do that. So you go into the break, you go off with your national team or you go visit your family, whatnot. And you know that when you come back, there's going to be that expectation now.
Yeah. Which it didn't sound like that was going to be the case like a few games ago.
Right. I remember being in the press conference and Laura saying, we might only win games by 1 goal, but the defense, is staying strong and yada, yada, yada. And it was like, okay, like it'd be really nice, like not to eke out every single win we have though.
Yeah.
So this is really nice.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it was against the worst team in the league.
Yep, absolutely. It's not even close how bad they are. It's a situation in Utah, and I hope LA Sentinor gets out.
They have 5 points.
Oh no. That's bad.
It's terrible. They have 5 points, and they're in 14th place, which is last place. And then the next team ahead of them is ahead of them by 1 point with 6 points is Chicago.
Do you think playing with that jersey sponsor helps? Do you think it motivates you? Is all I'm saying.
No.
Anyways, other positive I wanted to point out, this is the last one I have listed. We might say some other ones. Laura Harvey telling G she wanted more from her, and G delivering. Absolutely delivering in this game. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous how well she like found this chemistry with everybody.
Yeah.
This is what we've been waiting to see. I didn't know she still had it in her, to be honest.
I
But I guess she does.
Yeah, it seems to me that she's kind of found her niche, right? She's a playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't need to be running around doing everything. You've got Emery Adamez up there and Sam Meza behind you.
Mm-hmm.
You got two little choo-choo trains running around.
Mm-hmm.
They're more like high-speed trains, but it allows her the freedom to sit in that pocket and be that third point of the triangle and be able to make these plays and get players through.
And score a goal.
And that move, that little fake that she did right before she took that shot, incredible.
Yeah.
And that is just stuff that comes with being a veteran.
And the good news is we have a lot of young people to watch that and learn from her.
Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm. Any other positives you want to shout out?
I'll say a positive, and it rolls into my first negative.
Okay.
Utah was extremely foul heavy.
Oh, yeah.
It was not being called. It was not being called appropriately when it was called. Cards should have come out way sooner, and nobody lost their cool. And I think that just kind of speaks a little bit to the maturity that we're kind of seeing. Because I know last year when this was happening and they weren't playing very well, it was really easy for the team to get frustrated.
Yeah.
And that did not happen this game.
Yeah, I could have easily seen McLernan getting a red in this game if this was last season and just trying to like make up for any little thing that would go wrong in the back.
And so rolling into the negative part, St. George should have had 2 yellows before she scored that goal. 2 massive, just bodying and elbowing to the point where Phoebe McLaren ended up bleeding on the field. You don't do that to Phoebe. I will beat you up.
Oh, the other one that I thought with the refereeing that really pissed me off is Curry's yellow.
We were talking about this in the Discord because everybody was kind of in agreement that there should have been multiple yellows and
on Mazingo specifically too.
Yeah, and I think it might have been Steve or Suzu. Somebody was like, "Watch us get a yellow card for like a first time foul before they even get a card." And what happened? Exactly that.
Yeah, Mazingo is being really physical, and Curry was up for it, I would say, but like it just kept happening to Curry over and over and over again with this same player, right? And eventually Curry kind of just fed up and kind of does the same physicality back, and the ref like calls it. Like despite like 3 seconds earlier, not even that like Mazingo should have gotten the yellow. Not a great game from the reffing's perspective. However, we still won.
This happens a lot, and I would hope to think that it's unintentional, but referees a lot of the time will referee to the game. For instance, what I mean by that is, say you're up 3-0 and there was a big injury, so there should be like 6 minutes of added time. A lot of time you'll see 2 minutes tacked on, just because the other team's not going to come back. Well, you don't do that. That's not the amount of time that was wasted in the game. And in a situation like this, you've got Seattle kind of running rampant, scoring goals.
Yeah.
And you're not trying to, hit them while they're down. So you kind of just hold off.
But why not? Like, when we do have a goal differential thing in place, like, I just think that's bullshit.
And like I said, I don't know if that's what's happening here, but it seems to be the case because it happens to us a lot when we're up in matches.
Yeah.
And I just don't like it. And it was blatantly obvious this match. And I feel like if St. George would have gotten a yellow on the first tackle, the first elbow, she wouldn't have made that challenge on McLaren. So,
anywho, do you want to go through what was so bad about the goal we gave up?
There's a couple things. Number one, that's a big F you to your goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Because Dickey makes an incredible stop that she shouldn't have made. And gets it to hit off the post. And then it lands just right on the top of the 6, just above the top of the 6. And everybody's standing there watching. Because it was a screamer. And either they assumed it was going to go in or they assumed it was going to go out.
Yeah.
It seemed like nobody expected Claudia Dickey to save that. Have you seen her play? But nobody follows up St. George. and the ball hits off the post, hits right off to her, and she's wide open and just is able to slot it.
They didn't really do a good job with the replay, but it did seem like there was a slight chance she was offside too.
There was not a good angle on it. I thought she might have been offside. There was no review.
Yeah.
But either way, you play the whistle.
Yeah.
You don't assume someone's offside. I saw it in another game where, I think it was this game. I think it was our game, actually. In the first Adama's goal, you see a player, as she's getting slotted through, kind of hold up and just like raise their arm. I think it was Pogard. And I was just like, why are you doing that? Just like try and tackle her.
My explanation is I'd be tired from running, but I'm not a professional athlete. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, it comes at you fast, but like they got to be more ready for those kinds of things. And they just didn't seem ready. But I don't know. I guess this isn't something
it's a tough one because, again, that ball hits off the post. You're never going to know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And it's a tough one, but you have to position yourself better. Utah was able to turn our defenders a couple times and get through. And luckily they weren't able to convert, but it is a little bit concerning that that's still happening. So just something to work on, something that I noticed. Maybe
Bug will have a new, I don't know what you want to call it, new inspirations, new ambitions. She'll just, I feel like this call up to the U.S. Women's National Team, even if she gets a cap, the little things that we kind of seen her maybe getting a little cooked on sometimes. I think like her confidence back there will kind of be back to like the standard we've kind of expected from her. But I also know she's been running up forward and trying to make plays. So, and she's been really good at that.
Yeah, I want her to get like a dumb confidence.
Yeah, sure. Like boost that ego.
Like go talk to Olivia Moultrie.
Well, wait a second.
That's undeserving confidence, but
I was like, she didn't grow up with a
MLM mom,
an MLM mom with a full size soccer field in her backyard.
No,
at least as far as I know. Do you want to roll into the post match presser notes?
Sure.
They had brought on Darlene and Adames, which was kind of fun because it seems like they've been pairing it up with like a rookie and a vet in these victory ones. So you got to kind of see the kids run the show. I guess Darlene's almost 21, but Adames talked about the hunger that they have now that she maybe didn't feel like the team had in the beginning. That seemed like it was mostly in regards to like the attack.
Yeah.
Which is really cool to hear because I definitely think we're seeing that and I want more and it seems like they want more. They're going to have to do this against a better team, obviously, but this is a high note that you're going to end on with having that as your goal and doing it, you know? The other thing Darlene was talking about, which is kind of funny because I feel like we've been seeing this and they've been talking about it, but between her and Lynn and trying to build that chemistry and learning each other's tendencies, she was just talking about like how, you know, they're really starting to figure each other out and, you know where each other's going to be on the field. And she even mentioned that like Lynn drew 3 defenders, which kind of left her open for that goal. I mean, Darlene really did good on that goal, though.
Yeah.
To have that composure in that moment, too.
Yeah, to just scoop it over the goalkeeper. And I think we were talking about it. If for some reason they had been able to keep it out, the sliding defenders keep it out, it would have been a penalty.
I was just cheering so loudly, so I didn't really pay attention to what else was happening.
But no, that's a really smart goal for a young player.
Yeah.
I think most of the goals we've seen her score are just really well placed shots.
Yeah.
And this was more of a creative goal for her. And I thought that was a really cool thing.
Yeah. It also happened while I was in Minnesota. So to see a Minnesotan score while I was in Minnesota, I was like trying to get the people who were from Minnesota like hyped up about it. Most of them are outside, but I stayed inside watching the game. Priorities. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of hers and the way she plays. The last thing they kind of ended on was like it's a good way to end this half of the season, and they're ready to also clean up a lot of the mistakes that they want to clean up. I also think that probably extends to like finishing their chances and cleaning that up. I don't think the XG is very high in this one, but who cares?
Yeah,
finish your chances, even if they're not super obvious chances.
Yeah, and just putting the ball into dangerous areas creates so many chances for us. Like that's how G's first goal came about. Ball was played to the far post. Darlene got her head to it, and it fell to G, and she was able to to put it away. So I think sometimes, and I see this with my own team, they try and do things the way that they think they should be done. Like putting together the passes and, I want to play this player into this space and do this. Whereas sometimes you just have to get kind of dirty with it and just put it somewhere where it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, that Darlene playing that ball back in was so smart. She had a really good game. I mean, everyone kind of did, but man, I feel like it's hard. It was hard to Cooler Play the Match is its own thing, but when they were talking about, G's stats were just so crazy with assists and goals that obviously it was her. But if you look at the FOT Mob ratings for our players, I have not seen that many high ratings for our team with that many players, and I don't know how long.
Yeah, Lynn and Dickie were the lowest rated players with 6.5.
Which is pretty good.
Which is
usually that means you had a solid game.
St. George had 6.9, and she scored their only goal.
Mm-hmm. And you got G with 9.0.
Adames with 8.9.
Darlene 8.6. Meza. We haven't even mentioned Meza either. Meza 7.6.
Menti 7.1.
Sally Menti.
Didn't even mention her. Everybody had a good game.
Yeah, really. The last part of the press, since that's what we were talking about, Harvey had mentioned that she's never worked with a group that when facing adversity or things that were not going their way, they want to solve it immediately. They don't want to leave things to chance, and they want to make sure that they all talk about it collectively. That's pretty cool to hear. Sometimes we don't get to kind of understand what is happening behind the scenes with players and stuff. And I feel like being rewarded with these kinds of results, with them trying so hard to get these kinds of performances, has got to really lift their beliefs in what they can do this year.
The vibes are good.
Vibes are very good. And I will
say, I thought at the very beginning of the season, before the season started, when they came out with that little mini series.
Oh, yeah.
And just watching the team and how they interacted and how the older players were interacting with the younger players. And it just seemed that the vibes were good. And that people were there for each other. There wasn't a lot of weird stuff going on. There wasn't a lot of, it's edited, right? You don't always know.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that there was this team building and you could kind of see it from the get-go that they were all having fun, learning each other, kind of ostracizing the young kids just funnily, and then the young kids responding back.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of, seeing where we are at this point in the season and with Laura's comments here, that's something that is incredibly admirable. And I think they have put a lot of work into it. Definitely. And it started with that little silly game they played.
Yeah, I think it would have been very easy for this team to just be like, well, we lost the game, but we're at least better than last year. They could have easily had that mindset, but they're not doing that.
No.
Should we roll into Cooler Play of the Match?
Yeah, we can do that.
The Cooler Play of the Match is brought to you by The Doctor's Office, a great little 12-seat bar on Capitol Hill. The owner is a big fan of the rain and is proud to be our first sponsor. This is pretty easy, I would say, to come up with.
Yes and no.
I don't know. To me, it felt like...
we honestly agreed on it right away.
Yeah.
It was same brain kind of thing on these a lot of the time.
I will say maybe I had some you look at the stat sheets and everything, because this is what I was thinking beforehand, and then I kind of sometimes want a little bit of backing statistics wise to confirm what I believe is the case, and the stats aren't there for who we gave this to. But Laura Harvey does agree, and I also saw in the presser with Darlene and Adames, they also pointed out this player. So I guess we chose correctly. And this week we're giving the Cool Player of the Match to Lynn Biondolo.
Yay, Lynn! Is this her first Cooler Player of the Match?
I think there's a very good chance of that. Let me pull up the Cooler Player of the Match Hall of Fame. This, really
official document.
Really official document. Yeah, it seems, I'm not updated on it for 3 episodes, but I know we haven't given it to her recently. So yeah, this is Lynn's first Cooler Player of the Match. I would say this performance is the spirit of Cooler Player of the Match for sure.
For sure, yeah. Because I'm definitely not a stats nerd.
I can be, and it's kind of a problem. But
you can be, but I think when sometimes stats nerd notices a player having a really good match and then looks at the stats and thinks, oh,
wasn't there in that way, at least.
And then me watching it, I'm like, oh my God, she was involved so much.
Yeah. And Doesn't seem like the stats were even up anyways for the Reigns media thing. So
I know. You said that and I was like, seriously? It's been many days.
Yeah, I don't know if Ryan went on vacation or something, but
yeah, maybe Ryan went on vacation.
I don't know. We went on some vibes, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Thanks again to our sponsor, the Doctor's Office. Check out their Instagram at TDO Seattle, or better yet, go drink there in person. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to the Sounder at Heart Podcast Network, which now includes Nos Arietes, Lobbing Scorchers, and the Cooler Guild. We've been independent since August of 2023, but need your support to make sure it continues. Although this podcast is free, it's only made possible by your continued support. Memberships start as low as $25 a year, which not only helps make podcasts like this one happen, but also gets you access to everything we produce. If you're able to support us at higher levels, starting at $75 a year, you gain access to a host of other perks, most notably entry into our members-only Discord, where the smartest, funniest, and most engaged commenters share their thoughts and ideas. To find out more, just visit sounderatheart.com and click the subscribe button in the top right corner. Thanks for listening.
Lots going on. We'll talk about the NWSL results first, because there's a lot of exciting stuff happening with this month off.
Definitely. Big match weekend. Started out with Angel City at Kansas City, and Kansas City wins 1-0. Could have been a lot different. Alyssa Thompson had a PK that was saved by Lorena.
Was it a good shot? I didn't get to see a lot of stuff because I was out of town.
No, it wasn't great.
Okay.
I mean, she went the right way. She had to choose.
But it wasn't like tucked into the corner fully.
It
or
wasn't
anything.
tucked into the corner, but no, she was able to pop it up and over.
Okay.
And then the goal came because Chewinga had a breakaway, and her shot was stopped by Angel City's goalkeeper Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Great stop, but again, Bia got the rebound and scored. So that game could have been a lot different, and we play Angel City in the next match. So this one for me was something to look out for.
Makes sense.
Yeah. The next match was Louisville against Orlando. Louisville, 2-0 win.
Yeah, surprised. Super surprised.
Very surprising. I was watching the replay of this, and the first part, at least on the NWSL Plus, the first part when there was still sun in the stadium, it was really hard to differentiate between the teams because Orlando was wearing that like pink, the kind of salmon orange
peachy one,
pinky jersey, and Louisville was wearing their white. And with the sun, it was really hard to, you had to like very much like squint and focus to make sure which team was which. Did
Louisville have those like dark green shorts on for that kit?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm just wondering why Orlando didn't wear purple.
I don't know. Who knows?
Okay. I mean, it was probably hot, and I wouldn't want to wear a dark color if I didn't have to.
Yeah, Louisville scored twice, despite only having 36% possession.
Orlando
had a lot of chances. They just couldn't convert.
They've had some of those games this season.
Fraud watch.
Yeah.
And then our other fraud watch team, Gotham, played Bay, and Gotham beat Bay 2-1. Esther scored in this match, and she's had 10 goals in 13 matches this season.
She's the MVP for me so far this season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Jace scored, and the announcers were not watching the match.
Shocking.
They were talking blah, 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 something, something, something. Ball gets played over. Jace gets to it, scores, and they're just like, blah, 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 Jace. And then it's just like silent and like no enthusiasm. It was terrible. Go watch the replay. It is awful.
There needs to be a like company, I don't know what you want to call it, but they need to have a meeting with all of these commentators in this month off. And
maybe like a mini boot camp.
Something. Something where they're watching something, but then they have to also do something else, but make sure they're focused on the correct thing. I don't know. I'll brainstorm some ideas and email them over to the NWSL.
I am doing the play-by-play for my team's game on Friday, and I will like to point out that I am not a professional.
I was like, you're about to fucking eat your words with all the shit we've been talking.
I'm not getting paid to do this. This is not my profession. I don't claim to be good at it. I do not claim to be good at play-by-play. So
I'm gonna go listen to it and critique you.
Do not come at me.
Or Mike Watts is coming for you.
Should I see how many dumb like Tegan and Sarah lyrics I can put into it?
Fuck yeah. Now we're talking.
Anyway, on to the next match. North Carolina played Houston. North Carolina won 2-1. Jane Campbell started again for Houston.
Was there an
Turns out,
injury?
I don't know. There was just a change of starters again.
Okay.
And I only watched the extended highlights from this match, and in it she made at least 2 really big saves. They still lost, but it could have been worse.
Okay.
Houston scored in the first minute as well. So it started off, but in the 69th minute, there was a second. Yeah, nice. There was a second yellow card given to one of the Houston players. And so they went down to 10 in the 69th minute with that red card. So 2 minutes later, Jaden Ska.
I'm starting some ska music for you.
But 2 minutes later, Jaden Shaw got on the score sheet with her first goal.
Finally. Like, I don't really want to root for North Carolina, but I'm definitely rooting for Jaden Shaw to get it together.
Yep. And then they got another one and ended the game 2-1. So it was really after that red card that North Carolina was able to pull through. So it was a pretty even match.
That's what North Carolina needed to finally unlock Jaden Shaw.
The next game, Portland, Chicago. Portland still very much living up to the boring FC title. The highlights from this match were just awful because they have to make them like 8.5 minutes long or something, and there weren't a lot.
Yeah.
But Torden scored in the 59th minute. Actually, a really great shot, and they beat Chicago 1-0.
She's doing good.
Yeah, rookie season. She's playing really well. And then the Sunday game was San Diego against Washington Spirit, and that was a 0-0 draw.
I don't think we need to talk about any highlights from that, obviously. The thing I wanted to highlight about that the teams involved in that was San Diego is retiring Alex Morgan's number, and I don't get it. I've already mentioned before when we talked about Rapinoe's number getting retired last year that I don't really believe in numbers getting retired, especially in soccer. Unless like you have like a crazy number like 87 or something stupid. Like Bradley Wright Phillips, like remember his number, like that kind of made sense and he was also a legend. And yes, Alex Morgan is a legend, but is she a legend for San Diego? She played 3 seasons there, retired partway through one of those. I think she had 22 goals with them or something like that. But like, I don't get it. And now nobody's gonna wear the number 13 ever again for San Diego.
I will counterpoint this. I get it. I mean, in her day, and when they were bringing that team to San Diego, having her as the face of that team brought people in.
Don't care. I don't care.
And now she's a part owner of the club.
You're not selling me.
I'm just saying the reasons why. I'm not saying that I agree with them.
But to me, it's like, I think especially with soccer is like these jerseys, you see them go around and around, right? And like, it's kind of like an honor at some point to become that player that wears that number.
Yeah.
And I will also say, like, Rapinoe getting her number retired, she was with this club for how long? And she also did like so much important work for activism and stuff like that like that's where the bar is for me for retiring a jersey. And yes, Alex Morgan is a legend in her own right. I just don't get it for this at all.
Yeah, I don't get it for San Diego.
They're clinging on to it. I wonder, because sometimes there's a rule about like you can't order a jersey from a player that's like retired, but like if the number's retired, I think that they allow people to keep buying those jerseys perhaps. Maybe this will help their sales. Maybe. I'm not sure, because if that's the case, then I guess sure, but like I still like very much believe in like people should earn those kinds of numbers for those jerseys.
Is there an NWSL Hall of Fame? Because I feel like that would be the proper. I know there's US Soccer Hall of Fame, but the NWSL doesn't have one. Probably
not yet, but yeah, that would be the place to me that would be totally appropriate for it.
Right.
And they could even like San Diego could have done like what the Seahawks or whoever do, like Ring of Honor kind of thing, exactly. Where they don't retire it, but at least the name's still up in your stadium, so you can give the credit how you want to. And it's at least not this kind of crazy thing of retiring a whole number. I don't agree with it. But whatever. San Diego's always doing wild stuff.
They are. Pretty bad stuff. But anyway, that wraps up all the other NWSL games from the weekend.
No action until August 1st, but we have a lot of other fun action happening in WOSO. We've got U.S. Women's National Team has got some friendlies, right? They're just friendlies.
Yep, they're friendlies, and this the U.S. Men's National Team, the senior team, they announced a lineup or their roster the day that we published the last episode, but we recorded it the night before, so we didn't know yet. And a couple of these really slapped me in the face in a very good way.
Yeah, I know you like being slapped in the face.
Do I?
Anyway, if it was Beth Porter.
Jesus.
This is kind of like Cooler Guild Est, right? Because I've got a bug jersey, and everyone knows how we feel about Meza.
Everybody knows my turn of events with Claudia Dickey.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's Lynn.
Yeah.
So we have 4 players, Lynn Biondolo, Jordan Bug, Claudia Dickey, and Sam Meza, called up to the senior U.S. national team for 3 matches.
Yeah. And
3
none
matches.
of the European players, I think there's maybe a couple lingering from, like, Naomi Gurma's got called up because she was kind of
I
going
think
through
she's
some
the
injury.
only one.
Okay, so this is like a NWSL heavy roster, and there will definitely be a lot of rotation.
Mm-hmm. But we may possibly get the dream scenario we have been talking about, which is a center back pairing of
Bug
Jordan
and
Bug and Naomi Gurma.
Ooh, the future.
Let them cook.
Let him cook. I don't see why you wouldn't start Bug at some point in these 3 matches. I saw the pictures today that they put out with Meza and training and stuff, and it just looked right. It just looked totally right with her with all the U.S. Soccer stuff on, and
She's my Captain America.
I guess me too. Yeah, I'm excited. Very, very excited. The games that they got coming up.
I will say this. I was thinking about another iconic pairing that could happen.
What's that?
Sam Meza.
Uh-huh.
I'm drawing a blank.
Well, then this isn't iconic.
This is fucking what's her face? It should be playing the 6, but they have her in the back line.
Sonnet?
Sonnet, yeah.
Yeah, Sonnet and Meza could be cooking together for sure.
You know what I mean?
To me, it just feels like, I mean, I guess if Bug's there, they could put Sonnet back where she should be.
Just saying.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I'll go ahead and email. I'll go email
to Emma.
Yeah, I'll hit up Emma. Hey, have you thought about this? Anyways, the games that they got coming up: U.S. Women's National Team versus Republic of Ireland. Speaking of Republic of Ireland, guess who I ran into today? I guess you already know. Sinead Fairley. How's that how you pronounce her last name? Fairley. Yeah, ran into her. Kind of funny. I was like, oh yeah, and then we're playing Ireland.
Did you say hi to her?
No, it was like too fast. Like I clocked her. I was like, that looks like her. I'm pretty sure that was her. And I was like in my running clothes and had my dog. And then I hadn't run yet, so I didn't look like absolute dog shit. I didn't look great, but she was like walking the opposite direction in the like sidewalk. So like by the time she was gone, it was like it would be weird if I ran and tried to like say, hey, you're cool.
Awkward. Okay.
What the fuck would I say? Anyways, so they got 2 games against Republic of Ireland, Thursday, June 26th, 6 p.m. on TBS, Sunday, June 29th at noon on Peacock.
I think this one's on Peacock. This was kind of a struggle. It says like Max, and it's got Fubo and a couple other things on the list, but I think Peacock will have at least the Spanish version.
Yeah, I was like, usually that means the Spanish version will be on there, and then HBO. I don't know. Those games kind of end up in weird places sometimes. The U.S. is also playing Canada Wednesday, July 2nd, 4:30 p.m. Sounds like it's on TNT, and we'll probably see Heidemann in that as well. I would like to see all 5 Reign players on at the same time, please. That is a request I have. Why not? We'll see how big of a fan everyone is of the Reign. I guess does Emma love the Reign?
I don't know.
We're gonna find out.
At least U.S. Women's National Team, like social media or discourse online, is not as terrible as the men's national team.
Oh God. Well, because the men. Well, I mean, we could have an entire conversation about the U.S. Men's National Team that I'm not gonna start here.
Nope. I'm just saying. I think that there's a lot less club loyalty, and we want to see the best team on the field
For sure. Other exciting stuff. Man, we're just like stacked. Apparently we're
cooking.
stacked. We are so stacked. U23, US U23. We got Adamas, Darlene, Sally Menti, Emily Mason, and Prohaska, our goalkeeper, our backup goalkeeper, all called up. They're going to be busy, booked and busy, I guess. All these players, I guess they're going to go home at some point and relax. I don't think it's going to be constant, but and then also they announced today that McCammon was also called up for the U19 squad. So that's what, 8, Wait, no. 4 plus
10.
9. Okay, yeah, 10 players. Not bad. People, I feel like there was fans who always complain about how we didn't have national team representation enough on this team.
We joked about it, but never seriously.
I saw people complain about it though. And maybe it was valid.
I mean, it was hard because for a while, I mean, they were just such staples that we had, you know?
Well, and we were so bad that it was like, well, why? I feel like a way to make an easy fix would be to get these kind of caliber players. But instead, we've built these caliber players now. So that's I think that's cooler. Instead of just going out and spending money, we made them better. Or they made themselves better with the environment we provided. There's a rainbow over at me when I said that. Euros. You want to add anything else to the US stuff?
No, I just want to see everybody get capped.
Yeah, that's the dream.
You got 3 games to do it. Just put them in.
Don't see why they shouldn't. I feel like the whole point of this is to get a look at everybody.
Yep.
Big thing, though, that's happening this summer, the Euros.
I feel like, so Coop put in their show notes here. She's got a full lineup of our players playing, the teams that they play for, those players and their teams, who they're playing, and what network it's on at what time. I feel like we should post this on social media.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just to have like a watch list for Reign players in the Euros.
Yeah, I can make a
little
nicer graphic instead of my show notes. Because I've got the streaming networks that they're supposed to be on as well listed, and I think that would probably be very helpful for people. Because then you can also go watch those games at your favorite bar.
Yeah, like we used to do at 9 a.m. on a Saturday.
It's like we only got one 9 a.m. game, though, for at least the players on our team.
Yeah, so we got Wales, we got players playing for the Welsh national team, and we've got one Swiss player.
Yeah, and then I'll post all these things so we don't just list them off. But I guess the first game you're going to catch for both of those teams, AMC, which is, this is kind of cool. I didn't know that Switzerland was hosting the tournament. AMC is called up for that, and their first game is Wednesday, July 2nd at noon. Fox Network, they're playing Norway.
Is that Fox Sports Network?
It just said Fox Network, but it's got to be Fox Sports Network, right? Because Fox, we'll try to figure out some clarity on what Fox Network means. Because it did say just Fox Network on my my app that I enjoy so much. Live soccer something. Where is it?
Yeah, it does just say Fox Network.
It says Fubo, Fox Network, foxsports.com, VIX, what that is. It does say Fox, though, just Fox. I'm going to find out if that's real, because that'd be really cool.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's going to be in Switzerland, too, so that's pretty cool for AMC. I am, like, kind of curious of what happened to her. She posted, like, an MRI of her, what my wife determined was her thighs.
Yeah, it was something odd.
Because you can see the bone going, through. That's what the white piece is through the middle, and it's both of her thighs from what it seems like. Obviously, my wife's not a radiologist. We do have a radiologist friend moving here, but she's not here yet, or else I would ask her.
So I did figure it out. You will be able to watch that match on Fox 13.
Oh, sick.
On local TV. It's also, I think, in Spanish on TUDN.
Nice.
And there will be a replay on Fox Sports 1. So, yeah.
Okay.
So
anyways,
Fox means Channel 13.
Great for Washington people. First Wales game is versus the Netherlands. Man, the Wales is so they got it rough.
They got a group of death.
I don't see any scenario of them getting out of this. I mean, I guess France can sometimes just flop.
And there's some weird call-ups or non-calls up for France.
Okay.
So that's going to be kind of a different looking squad.
Okay. But we get to see Fishlock on a huge stage.
Yeah.
And that's going to be cool. That'll be cool no matter what.
I can't imagine how long she has wanted this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to assume it's the only reason she's still going.
Yeah, probably.
That first game against Netherlands, Saturday, July 5th, 9 a.m., Fox Network.
Fox 13.
We'll post I'll make a graphic for the other games in the next week or so you can know where to find them. And if something's wrong, let me know. Are you excited about the Euros?
I am excited about the Euros. Honestly, I really enjoy some of the personalities on the England team.
I know.
Mainly Ella Toon.
I know. I feel like you have a lot of people that you really enjoy in England.
It's true.
I don't know who I'm rooting for. It's not England.
Wales. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, but a realistic pick? I don't know who that is. I usually figure it out while I'm watching the tournament, though, because I don't really have any strong feelings about these European teams.
Yeah, I usually find one player that I've really enjoyed watching.
Yeah.
in the World Cup for me, that was Linda Caicedo.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm all right, I'm going to watch all those games. So
my friend just discovered, she's not like a big sports watcher, but she just discovered what the Italian national team looks like.
The men's national team?
No, the women's national team. And she's just like, I'm going to watch the Euros this summer because of the Italian. And I was like, okay. And then she sent me a photo of like them coming out of the team bus or something. I was like, okay, I get it.
I'm going to have to look it up.
I mean, I guess maybe I'm rooting for Spain a little bit, but that's probably it at the moment. See what they can do. Anyways, we can do a slight, I mean, we're not going to do a huge preview on this because I think we're going to probably do another episode or two during this break, at least 2. Maybe we'll look into getting an interview with a player. Who knows? They've got a friendly. The Reign have a friendly this summer. Do you know how to say this?
They were playing in the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
I think it's Urawa.
Okay.
Urawa.
Okay.
Red Diamonds.
Okay.
It's called the Red Diamonds.
I hope their fans show up like they did for their men's team because they looked like a lot of fun at the Club World Cup.
I know. That was incredible. They kept showing them behind and they were trying to come back. They were down, but the fans behind the goal just in the normal ECS section just absolutely going off. Yeah.
Kind of fun that they're going to play them. I wonder, it was probably somewhat intentional. Anyways, they're playing Sunday, July 20th at Lumen Field, 1 p.m. That'll be a nice little Sunday match. If you've got nothing else going on, I don't see why not. You just show up and hang out. Then the next game the Reign have back at home, that's an actual competitive match.
NWSL back in action.
That's right. We got the Pride match.
Woo woo.
Not versus Pride, which is confusing because that was what I thought you had tickets for initially. But yeah, Friday, August 1st, Lumen Field versus Angel City, 7:30 p.m. It's on Fox 13, NWSL Plus, Paramount Plus. But hopefully you're at the stadium because people need to start going to these games more.
I'm not quite at the point where I'm going to go off about it again, but just be ready, everybody. If you don't fucking show up to the games, I'm about to go off.
These Friday night matches are not helping.
I know.
What else is there? I will say, like, the Utah attendance was pretty solid in comparison to ours, which pissed me off. But what else is there to do in Utah?
Right.
On what day of the week was it? Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, somewhat of an explanation is all I'm saying. Yeah, hit up that game. We might try to, if there's interest, we might try to organize fucking Friday. This Friday night is honestly killing me. I wish this game was on Saturday because I really wanted to organize something for people to come out and hang out before the game.
Yeah.
But
we've got some time to think about it.
But yeah, people have jobs though, and it's just not ideal. Also, it's Pride in August, which is even more confusing. Thanks a lot, NWSL.
Maybe we won't lose any rights in August. I don't know.
Yeah, we might not be allowed to be gay by then. Let's be honest. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for this show. Do you got any shout outs for the week?
Yeah, I've got 2. Number 1, I'd like to shout out my mom's new kitten she got yesterday. Her name's Freya.
Mm-hmm.
The neighbors found her in the back of the development.
Did you know you were getting her, or was it just like they needed a home for her?
My mom said she was going to go look at some kittens the day before, and I went into work the next day, and I was thinking about it, and I told my coworker, I was like, my mom said she's going to go look at some kittens today, and that has always, in my entire life, meant she's coming home with one. So
Truly.
Later on in the day yesterday, she sent me a text of her and this kitten, and I'm just like, I went and said, Abdul, look. And he's like, damn, you know your mom. I was like, yeah.
What do they call that when the kitten just shows up?
It's the cat distribution system.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, that's funny.
Kinda. Yeah, and second shout out to one of my players, Lawson Willis. Shout out Lawson. I was telling her about the podcast. She's like, maybe I'll listen to it. And I was like, I'll talk about you.
Great.
She's also an incredible player.
That's good. I wouldn't want you to shout out a bad player.
No, she's also really nice. So
shout outs I got shout out for my friend that stayed at my house and watched my cat and my dog.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Sounds like she had a great time. My friend was like booked and busy like when she was here. She's like one of those people that makes friends with like anybody she meets kind of thing. And so she like went to some like city council stuff to like help with, I don't know, getting ideas for where she lives and stuff. Because she lives in like a kind of small town as well. And then she was supposed to go shooting with my tattoo artist. Because like my tattoo artist like is like a hunter. She like hunts ducks. And so she like was trying to sell one of her clay things, and she was just like, oh, like maybe I'll buy it, or maybe I'm interested in buying it. She's like, well, why don't we just go test it out and hang out? But then the weather was really shitty. But my friend was like, oh yeah, I think we're going shooting. And she's like, how is like my friend? Like she's made like more friends because she was also told me she left her pizza at the brewery, and then she like texted the person that like she talked to while she was there and was like,
How
oh,
did
I
she have their number?
I don't know, but she's made more friends in like a week being here than like I have in like 2.5 years or 2 years. I have more friends now, but like it was crazy. I think that's about it. You can always follow us on social media: Bluesky, Instagram, Cooler Guild Pod.
You can send us an email. We love an email. thecoolerguild@gmail.com. You can also visit us on our main page, soundetheart.com/the Cooler Guild.
We're on YouTube, youtube.com/@thecoolerguild. Wherever you're listening, please go rate 5 stars. Till next time, I'm Coop.
I'm Van.
Stay cool, y'all.
Stay cool, y'all.
Finger guns.
Pew, pew, pew. There are a bunch of girls on the team with this water bottle, and I was like, yeah, my best friend thinks it's my sippy cup. They're like,
No,
I mean, honestly, it really is.
That's your baba.
Let me get my baba.